Hey everyone, welcome to the 3-day manifestation reset. Okay, we made it. Oh my gosh. Woo. Tech was giving me a hiccup right before I tried to go live, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm here early, what the heck, but we made it. We're here. So if you have followed me for a while, this is something I never, ever do. I usually reserve my teachings for within my private community and my one-on-one client community. However, I just wanted to interact with you guys. There's so many people in this group now. There's 1,200 some odd people, almost 1,300. And I don't really come in and interact with you all very often. And I thought, how much fun would it be to do, like, it's springtime. Spring has always felt like New Year's for me. So I thought, how much fun would it be to come in and do a free 3-day manifestation reset? A lot of people have found me from the Neville Goddard community, from the Joe Dispenza community, from the Abraham Hicks community, and a lot of people have started following my work. And where I come from is I take all of the information from all of that. I have studied neurobiology, quantum physics, neuroendocrinology, neuroepigenetics, neuropsychoimmunology, all of these topics for decades. And so what I like to do is take the reality and science behind manifestation and what we know of as manifestation and make it real for people, make it tangible, walk people through exactly how to create what they want to create in their lives right now. Because people are doing things like affirmations and vision boards and meditation and journaling, and all of that is great. That's lovely. Most of these manifestation methods that we've heard of operate within the conscious mind. The conscious mind runs 5% of what is going on in our biology when we're talking about health or our physical body, and in our reality that we create around us. And so I have been now helping people create what they want in real time, meaning right now in their lives, not someday, not the future, because the future doesn't exist, not by going through and digging through traumas of the past. Like, a lot of work out there digs through, okay, well, we need to go into the past, figure out why we are the way we are, and there is a lot of comfort in knowing why we are the way we are. I personally love to know why I am the way I am, but we do not need that information to step into a new identity that we truly want to live in our life experience. We don't need that information to create anything we want right now. And so this is where I come from in all of it. I started in a basis of holistic health. I was a holistic health expert for a lot of years, and I was doing my clinical practice in holistic health, and I would give people the best of the best protocols they could use for reversing autoimmune diseases, reversing diabetes, getting the weight loss they've always wanted successfully, all of those things, right? And I started to notice, like, all of the study I did in quantum physics and neuroscience was a personal passion of mine. And what I started to notice in my health career is people would get amazing results. They would reverse their conditions. They would finally lose the weight. They would do all these things. And unfortunately, as soon as I was gone from their lives, slowly but surely, their results would fade away. They would end up rebounding, all because they weren't becoming the person who would have those results. And that feeds right into the manifestation arena. And so I started coming at it from that direction. Let's talk about how to create the identity of the person who would be autoimmune disease free, who would be cancer free, who would be less weight than this person didn't want to weigh, right? So all of that ended up creating a monster in terms of what I've been doing now for years, which is just helping people manifest and what the heck it really is, and learning how to use these principles, because it doesn't have to be extremely difficult to understand science. And if it took me decades and thousands of dollars to learn all of this, I want to bring it to people without them having to spend all those years of trial and error, to spend all those years studying intensely these really challenging subjects without spending thousands of dollars to do it. So this is my passion. Welcome. Thank you. I am so grateful that you are here to join me. And I want to get going. So if you're watching the replay, comment replay below so I can see you, so I know that you're here. If you're here live, comment live so I can see you too. Make sure you have your free guide that I created, which came with the registration for this event. And of course, if you're just seeing this and you didn't see the event in the Facebook or somehow you missed it, welcome. Take part. Let me know if you want the free guide, and I will make sure to get it to you. Okay, tangent over. If you have followed me for a while, then you know that I go on tangents. So I have written down my lesson today in order to make sure that I don't waste all this time yammering on. All right, I'm just making sure that this is all set up. Can you see me and hear me? Put a number 1 in the comments if you can see me and hear me. I'm not sure anyone has even hopped in yet, but alas, the recording will be up, so I'm going to get into it. Okay, welcome to day 1, like I had mentioned. Now, we're not here to talk theory or vibes, right? We're not here to talk about affirmations, journaling, vision boards, meditation. We're here to perform a diagnostic on your biology. We're going to diagnose why things are staying challenging, difficult, or stuck for you in your current reality. Most of you have spent years as professional students, and that used to be me. You've read the books, you know the vocabulary, you know all the different methods, you've probably tried all the methods, yet your physical reality is still buffering, still not really happening. And when you get good at this, things land fast. And I mean extremely fast. My dream home here came in 2 days' time from when I started really getting serious about manifesting this. My husband, who is more amazing than any human being I realized ever could be. Like, I didn't even understand there was a man this amazing out there. Genuinely. Had some experiences that kind of negated that, right, in my past. 5 days it took for him. Just 5 days. There are things like my dream car that took 2 months. There are some things that it takes different amounts of time based on where your frequency is at regarding that thing. And you have to get clear on what the heck it is you really want. Because it's not the car you want, it's not the person you want, it's not this house you want, it's not the money in the bank account that you want. You don't want all those things, and especially money. I'm not going to go on a tangent here. I'm going to stick with my notes. So if you're trying to manifest a new life while your nervous system is still broadcasting an old signal, today we're going to try to fix that hardware. Well, we're not going to try. We are going to fix that hardware. So open your reset guide to page 1, which talks about the integration logic. This is what you're looking at, the integration logic. And I want you to understand one thing before we begin. Manifestation is not a mental exercise. Remember, the conscious mind is only 5% in control of any of this, okay? It's a biological state of being. If you are stuck in the waiting room of your life, or what I call the waiting room of your life, where you're not really experiencing the things you'd really like to be, it's because you have voltage leaks. So that's my terminology. That just means you're bleeding out the power required to collapse the delay between your thought and your end result. So today we're going to identify exactly where your personal energy is being held captive. Okay? So this is not about a personality flaw, by the way. This is a frequency mismatch. There's a bit of a differentiation there. Okay, now let's look at page 3, where I have mapped out these voltage leaks, and you might find some strikingly familiar. This is the page I'm talking about. The voltage leaks. So these are specific biological behaviors that are draining the power required to collapse the delay in your timeline between what you truly want to experience in your life versus what you're currently experiencing now or what you're actually feeling stuck in. As I go through these, I want you to really be honest with yourself. Don't look for the right answer. Look for your personal truth. And if you catch a personal truth, whether you're here with me live or whether you're on the replay, put it in the comments. Okay? Number 1, seeking validation. This is not the most common one, but it is still common. And this is when you need someone else to tell you you're doing it right before you feel that sense of power, before you feel powerful within yourself. Every time you ask for permission or look for a sign from the outside, you're broadcasting that you don't actually have the authority. Okay? You're leaking power to an external source. You are the source. And this means your frequency drops into seeker instead of architect. We want to be the architect of our lives. So as much as I work with people and in my one-on-one work, I architect things for them, but I teach them how to be the architect. If anyone ever has worked with me, throw in the comments. I'm very much about giving you all the skills that you'll need so you don't have to work with anyone. That's my whole thing. You don't need to work with anyone long term. If you're working with anyone long term, something's not right. Something's not happening, you know? All right. Number 2, checking for proof. This, I think, is the most common voltage leak that exists. This is definitely the biggest one. You do a meditation, you feel great, but then you find yourself checking your bank account, checking your body out, looking in your DMs or whatever to see if it worked. Okay, so the moment you check for proof, you've admitted that you don't believe it's really done. And something I want to teach you guys about is that no matter what you're wanting, it is done. It is already done. The issue, and this is what manifestation actually is that what we are experiencing is a quantum field. So there is an energetic frequency field around us where there are infinite possibilities, infinite realities, infinite versions of you that all exist right now in this very present moment. Joe Dispenza calls it the generous present moment. Others call it the here and now, but it's right now. Okay? For the Neville Goddard community, he'll say living in the end. That means as if all the things that you ever wanted were actually existing right now. Okay? So this is what it's about. If you're checking for proof, you're admitting that you don't believe it's already done. It's just that it exists in frequency form. And how we get something out of the quantum field, Abraham Hicks calls it the vortex, how we get something out of that and into our physical reality in 3D form is to match the frequency of that thing. A lot of people have no idea how to match a frequency. I have, by the way, a 3-part series on exactly how to match the frequency, exactly how to understand, communicate with, and follow true inspired action. People get really messed up on what inspired action is because you match the frequency, that's step 1. Step 2, you handle inspired action. So much miscommunication about inspired action going on between you and your authentic self, which we'll talk about later, and between you and your understanding of what inspired action truly is. That's how you make your manifestation come about. And then step 3 is making sure that your identity, what we're talking about today, your nervous system is calibrated to not only receive your manifestation, but also to keep it, to hold it. There are people that win the lottery and lose it all, right? There are people that end up pregnant, lose baby. There are people that create the relationship of their dreams and somehow sabotage it. It happens. And one of the biggest, if not the biggest reason is because your subconscious mind or your body aren't calibrated to handle that frequency when it comes. So this whole thing is about that. What's going on there? So you've just signaled, if you're checking for proof, you've just signaled to your nervous system that the 3D world is more real than your own internal command, and that is never the case because it happens energetically first. The 3D is after. So once you get a handle on how it's already done, it already exists, and you feel that, look out, but make sure you're able to actually receive and hold it, and that you know exactly what to do step by step in your life. which is what I teach. So you don't want to signal that to your nervous system that the 3D is more real to your own internal command. That will make the buffering start all over again. Okay? So looking for proof will always, always, always project a frequency of lack no matter what. Now, number 3, over-explaining. If you have to explain your vision or justify your prices or defend your choices to people, anyone that just doesn't get it, you are leaking voltage. High frequency reality does not need a defense. When you over-explain, you're trying to fix a reality that your frequency hasn't actually shifted yet. Basically, you're just talking instead of actually commanding. Do not allow your voltage to leak. Like, I ended up ending my relationship with my business manager because he couldn't understand, he was teaching me logic and how to run a business, right? Very grateful for that. But when it came to what I was following, the inspired action, he would say things like he would never support me doing this free 3-day thing, ever. He would say things like, Kelly, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. Why are you giving all this away? You're going to end up, killing your business, yada, yada. Never have I ever been more successful than when I've been following my own inspired action, no matter what that looks like. And if you're judging your own inspired action, which I was brutal for, and it still gets me. I still work on this with myself, and that's another thing. There's no magical endpoint. There is, though, a differentiation. There's a change in how you handle things. So I will look at my own stuff and say, well, this doesn't really make sense. I don't know what this has to do with anything of what I'm wanting. That's in the 3-part series about inspired action. But you have to not look at it if you're feeling the inspired action, if you know you're matching a frequency properly, which is a whole other thing that people don't quite understand. It's going to come. It's that we don't get to decide how that happens. The how is never our business, and the amount of people that are running around trying to figure out how to make something happen, and that's the whole thing with manifestation too. If we're doing vision boards, affirmations, meditations, journaling, any of those methods as a way, as our how to make something happen, it means we're trying to make something happen and inadvertently projecting a frequency of lack. Okay? So I usually diagnose someone. I pinpoint exactly what's going on. I walk them right out of that, give them exactly step-by-step what to do. But what I'm hoping over these next 3 days is that you get an idea of how to do this for yourself. Okay? And that leads me straight into number 4, which is the how loop. With this one, you're basically just stuck in the logistics. You think you need a better funnel, a better strategy, a better routine, better something, different something. And all of that is just proof that you're really trying to solve a frequency problem with 3D effort. They don't mix. They don't match. Okay? This is the hustle trap that I see so many of the people that I coach with their business. Like, part of my coaching is about someone's life, right? How to leave an incorrect marriage, which I posted 2 videos on this yesterday on my feed, so you can check that out. But a lot of my clients can't figure out how to transition from their 9 to 5 into their own thing that they truly want to do for themselves by using the principles of manifestation, and then also the logistics of creating a business. And how do you marry that, right? So I see so many of my business coaching clients get stuck in this hustle trap. I got stuck in it before I got really good at all this. Your brain is looping on the how because it doesn't feel safe enough to trust the what. Doesn't feel safe enough to be able to trust. And that's what I always tell people. If you're really stuck in how is this going to happen? How am I going to do that? This doesn't make any logical sense. I don't know anyone that I would need to know in order to blah, 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 or I don't know what to do in order to blah, blah, blah. Just know that the how is not your business. And if you're stuck on how and find yourself looping through hows, it's because you don't have enough information on the basis of all of this. When you truly understand, and I mean embody the understanding, not just know it, remember, conscious mind, 5%. When you truly embody the reality and science behind what manifestation actually is, and you know how to work with it, you trust things without ever giving a crap how. And so when I find myself getting, oh, okay, I've moved over into the how bit, because that is always going to come up for us in the 3D world, because that's what we've been taught we need to do to make happen. Yes, there is action that needs to be followed, but it's not up to us to decide what that action is. Okay? That is the biggest distinction. The action will come to you when you're matching a frequency appropriately. The issue is that A, it's going to seem like it has nothing to do with what you're really wanting. B, it's going to be a thought you wouldn't normally think. C, it'll be to do something you wouldn't normally do. So most people, they don't even notice it. And I have crazy stories about inspired action that came to my clients and crazy things that happened. And I don't mind telling all of those stories. So if you want to hear them, comment below that you want to hear the stories. I won't do it here, because I'm going to stay focused, okay? The overall diagnostic truth about this is that if you find yourself in these loops, any of these, your leaks are actually coping mechanisms, because that means your nervous system is wired to survival. The amount of people, even when I was in health, the amount of people, I just can't lose weight, I just can't get healthy, it's because your body's in survival mode and the repair system is turned off in that case. Okay? So these leaks are coping mechanisms. Your body's trying to protect you from the big life you really want to be experiencing, because it doesn't know how to hold that much voltage yet. So I can show you these leaks today, and you might even be able to stop one or two for the next hour or the next day, because you're focused and now you've learned a lot about it. And you'll be affected by the frequency of myself and this transmission, of course. But the moment you go back to your real life, the moment the kids scream or the bill comes or you feel the symptom in your body or your boss calls or whatever, your nervous system will automatically revert back to these leaks in order to keep you safe, because your nervous system doesn't care what you want, does not give a crap. It cares about whatever is familiar. Your subconscious doesn't give a crap about what you dream of and what you want. It cares about whatever's most familiar. And both the subconscious and the nervous system are the other 95%. Everyone's working away on the conscious mind and doing all the methods for manifesting. Your subconscious mind and nervous system are where this happens. This is how you match frequencies. This is how you do the things it takes to create the change right now, in real time in your life. So, this is not a willpower issue. It's more of an environment issue. Most of you are basically, why is this pop up here? Get out of here, pop up. Most of you are basically trying to hold high voltage. Sorry, I'm just trying to get out of this pop up that happened. What the heck, Bob? There it is. Most of you are basically trying to hold high voltage electricity in a house with 50-year-old wiring. I use a lot of analogies. Okay, I used one yesterday that people loved, and it was along the lines of everything I'm talking about today, but the analogy was that, let's say you print a paper with a typo on it. People are trying to fix the paper rather than going to the source, the computer, and printing a new page that is corrected. You are the source. Okay? You don't need more manifestation tips. You need a lifestyle of integration where your nervous system is consistently regulated enough to hold the charge without flinching, where your subconscious believes, and I mean truly believes deep down, not your conscious mind saying, oh, I believe, where your subconscious believes in what it knows to be true. If you have enough information, you know it to be true. And where your subconscious believes that what you want is actually possible for you. When I work one-on-one with people, I will get to the bottom immediately. I will get right to the bottom of whatever it is they're actually wanting, because it's not the money or the car or the man or whatever, woman, person. It's not the spouse that they're wanting. It's not the job they want or the car that they want or the money. Whatever they think they're wanting, that's not at all what they want. So I get right to the source of what they actually want, and then I find out, do they actually believe that the greatest extension or expression, the greatest expression of what they feel they want, do they actually believe that's possible for them? Most people don't. Most people don't know what they really want. They're looking at the thing, all those things I mentioned that they don't actually want. They're looking at that, and then they don't actually believe within their subconscious that this is actually possible for them. And so possible, it's already happened energetically. All they got to do is match the frequency Understand inspired action, what that really means. Follow it. Make sure their nervous system is calibrated to receive it and to keep it. It happens hours, days, immediately, depending on how you're calibrated, okay? So this is the baseline of how I operate, how this work operates. It's why I built the suite. The integration suite is a private community where I actually teach people the step-by-step of how to do this. This is not like a classroom, okay? But as a sanctuary where your wiring is upgraded daily with your having the underlying of knowing exactly how to keep it that way yourself. Because you can do all of this yourself happily ever after, and life is so much fun when you start to do it, okay? These leaks will eventually just stop making sense to your system. They completely go away. So if you want to see where your specific wiring is glitching, look closely at the homework on the next page, the frequency audit. Okay. Your homework is on the voltage leak map as well. I want you to identify which of these 4 is your primary leak today. Don't over-intellectualize it. Another problem that I see with my one-on-one clients is a lot of them are up in their heads trying to analyze, am I doing this right? What are the tiny nuances I should be doing with this? And this is an inside job with how you're feeling, not a mind job, okay? That's why I don't teach mindset, because you don't need mindset help. So just observe where your energy is escaping, and then post your primary leak that you found in the group comments right here under this day 1 video, because I will be jumping in there to give a bunch of awesome knowledge to those of you that actually comment, because I am here to help you. I have given my mind to you for these 3 days for free. Take advantage of it. This doesn't happen usually, okay? So post in the comments where you feel your voltage leak is, and I will jump in later. And then tomorrow at 1 p.m. we tackle the inspired action gap, okay? We're going to find the commands that you've been missing because your system has been too loud to hear them. And if you have not yet heard about the guided meditation experience I will be offering on April 28th, I'm going to tell you about that right now because it fits what's going on here. This is I don't do just guided meditations that are just nice to listen to. If you've heard or had any of my guided meditations, post below in the comments what you found it to be like, because I have been doing custom ones for a long time, where I take someone's exact makeup, what's going on with them, what they actually want, and then I create a custom guided meditation for them. But what I'm going to do on the 28th is a generalized one that I'm opening the doors to from the integration suite, meaning you don't need a membership in the integration suite to experience this. Usually this is only for my higher level suite members, but I'm opening up this one. It's only $22, and it is going to be a completely curated experience. Like I use theta brainwave frequency music to put your brain in a theta state, which is where your subconscious is the most reprogrammable. It's the most suggestible to new information. And then we're going to connect you directly with your innermost authentic self, your inner being and higher self. And when I say things like inner being, higher self, I mean the real you, under the BS, under the traumas, under the programming and the patterning that we end up creating our sense of self around throughout our lives. You will experience a true connection with your innermost authentic self, where you can hear the messages going on there for yourself. You might hear inspired action. That's where it happens, okay? So then you will be given tools to reconnect with that anytime in the future on your own. So if you want the information or the join link for that, comment below experience, and I will make sure to get you the link right away. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.